Okay, so stage 3, the third and final stage of the Goku story red zone. We are up against it with this one, boys. I think I'm probably going to end up using items in this run because this is my 6th and final attempt at the stage for the day. That is how this stage has been treating me. This guy is absolutely ridiculous in terms of the difficulty level. This first phase against Final Form Frieza really isn't all that. His super attack is only like 1.4 million, which is nothing too crazy compared to some of the bosses that we have been seeing. He can be attack lowered, so obviously that's a big help as well. Doesn't have a crazy amount of HP. Like, there's nothing really about this first phase that is particularly scary. Like, a lot of the bosses from that Formidable Foes event, like the way they are straight up on turn 1, just harder than this guy, right? He's not really an issue at all. The problem is the second phase against Golden Frieza. So Golden Frieza has a gimmick where basically he just hits insanely hard with both his normals and his super attack. But whilst he can't be attack lowered in the normal sense, like he can't be attack lowered by super attacks that lower attack, but for each attack he receives, he loses 3% attack and 3% defense, with the maximum being minus 60%. So you have to hit him 20 times and then you can debuff him by 60%, which obviously that sounds like a lot, but his super attack is 6 million and he greatly raises attack for one turn. So it's actually like well over 7 million. And his normals straight away, even pre-super, do 2 million, which means after he's supered, his super attacks do even, his normal attacks will do even more than that. And if that wasn't enough for you, he can super attack twice in one turn as well. So on that very first turn, the unit that you're putting in slot 1, that's what they have to deal with. 2 million damage normals, 6 million damage super attack, which is more because it's greatly raised. So characters that can dodge, obviously going to be very, very good. Because realistically, when it comes to that level of damage, the only characters in the game that can actually tank those kind of hits are going to be characters that are like crazy damage reduction, you know, like characters that will have like Cell Max, for example, or this new Vegito, whereas like on the turn where you use the active skill, they get an insane amount of defense. I think one of the times we've used a Rainbow Friend Vegito and used his active skill, he's had like 5+ million defense, and obviously he has 60% damage reduction and guard. So like even on turn 1, good thing we attack lower. If this was turn 1, we'd be dead. Because obviously Vegito doesn't attack lower. So he'd have attacked in slot 1 and then we'd have got killed. That's the only problem with bringing AGL Vegito. But the goal is to try and get the Scouter up for him. And then, like I say, at this point, with this being the last attempt for the day, like I'm just going to use an item when we get to Frieza. Because, yeah, otherwise we're not getting this stage done today, which is crazy. 6 attempts as well. Remember when the red zone first came out and it was only 3 attempts per day? And then they put it up to 5, and then obviously with the power level boost you can get an extra attempt on any of the limited attempt stages. Limited attempt stages remain one of the worst decisions that they've ever made in this game. That might sound like an overstatement considering some of the terrible things that have been in the game, but I genuinely don't see any argument for it. I've seen people try to make the argument that like it can stop people from just playing it all day long till they beat it and then complain they have no content left to do. But I mean, if that's what they want to do, then, you know, go for it, I guess. But the fact that you can easily just go into these events, get immediately taken out on like turn 1, and then you can't, like once you've done that 5 times, like if you don't have the high enough power level bonus, once you've done that 5 times, that's it. You can't play the event anymore. And it's like, why is the game making it so the game's like, actually, yeah, no, you've played enough today, sorry, the event that's really, really hard, you died too many times, so now you don't get to play it until tomorrow, which I think is wild, honestly. And obviously, especially for me as a content creator, right, because ideally I want to get a video out for these stages on the day they come out, but that's already difficult enough considering Dokkan's dropped like 50 million things today. But yeah, this stage has definitely been causing me issues. I've tried it with a bunch of different teams, reps of Universe 7, the Glorio team, and it's always the case of like it's usually that second super, because the first super usually is in slot 1, so that's not too bad. Like, you know, you've got characters like Injured Ember that can dodge it, but on the first turn against Golden Frieza, Injured Ember dodged a super in slot 1, then did 2 attacks, so he obviously only debuffed by 6%, then he got hit by a normal in slot 1, like after he attacked, and it did 700k. And so I died, because I don't think I was quite on full health. I don't know if that Glorio team build actually has 700k, that particular one. But yeah, and then that was it. It was GG. So yeah. So we're going to go ahead and do this. I think we just go ahead and throw the Whis out here. I'm tempted to use 2, to be honest, but I don't know if that's wise here on the first turn. I mean, with the super attack being 6 million... what do you have? Damage reduction 50%, so he's got 90% damage reduction with the Whis active. But even so, like if we bring the calculator up here, so 6 mil, well it's actually more because he greatly raises, so let's say it's 7 mil minus 90% still does 700k, and he's got 200k start of turn defense. He does have guard though in slot 1. Receiving attack with 10 or more ki. Actually, yeah, his damage reduction is 100% as long as he gets 10 or more ki, which he already does. Now, this Vegito has, what, is it 40%? So he's got 80%. So after supering, he should be okay. But then these guys, if they are super in slot 3, like, they've got 40% as well. So I think we should be okay. But that's what's so crazy about this guy, right? Is think about some of the events in the past where, like Super Battle Road or whatever, it's like you throw out a Whis and then you know you're going to be fine. The fact that that even has to be part of the discussion for this turn is like double checking the passives and everything, because one Whis might not be enough for us to be able to survive the turn. Like, that is crazy. But yeah, obviously the next turn we're going to be able to fuse into Vegito, so we're going to get some wild shenanigans going on from the next turn. Obviously every counter that Vegito does counts as an attack that Frieza is receiving as well, so that actually helps quite a lot, because that's going to be debuffing him more and more every time we hit him with the counters. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. So Vegeta getting a good few attacks off here. AGL Vegito, of course, it's the same thing, right? So the counters that he does are going to be debuffing Frieza's attack as well. So the more of these we can get in here, the better. But yeah, he would be risky to run, like, because without the Whis, Vegito only has 40% against normal attacks. So 40% against supers, right? He gets the extra against normal attacks. And on turn 1, like I say, before Frieza's had loads of debuffs applied, then he's still going to be hitting really, really hard. Fortunately now, though, because we have hit him like over 10 times, his super attack damage has dropped by a fairly significant amount. So with the Whis active, these guys having the base 40% damage reduction anyway, if he does do the second super here in slot 3, we should be okay. The crazy thing as well is because he greatly raises on both of his supers, it means after he's supered twice, if he's still got any more normal attacks left in the turn, that means he's greatly raised his attack twice, which is kind of wild. So yeah, how much are we going to take from this? Double digits, good. I mean, this is what's so funny about items, and it always has been the argument for like why people like to do no item runs for challenges and stuff like that, is by throwing out that Whis, then everybody takes double digit damage, despite this guy being an insanely hard hitting like enemy. But yeah, we're going to get off as many attacks as we can here again. So we'll use the active skill for you. I think we would still need, well, I guess it depends. Once he gets hit a few times, we probably don't need the 777% buff in order to actually survive. We've got the Whis active, so everybody on this turn gets extra damage reduction and stuff as it is. So yeah, we should be all good now. But yeah, that's the difference. It took 5 attempts at this without items, and Golden Frieza just absolutely clapping up the team. Like, I'm pretty sure without the Whis active, Vegeta in slot 1 on that previous turn, he'd have taken some damage, but we wouldn't have died. But then that second super against the Tech Goku and Vegeta in slot 3, that would have been GG at that point, right? Because they only have 40% damage reduction. He's greatly raised twice. Pretty sure that would have just been instant death. And if not, on this turn, we come into the turn on very, very low HP. So, you got to get very lucky. I mean, the thing is, I know it is that the RNG is the RNG, right? You either get lucky or you don't. It's like when I put up the video, was it yesterday or the day before, for doing the stage 3 of the Formidable Foes thing, which took me so many attempts, because obviously I was trying to do it with no items. And then you always get the people in the comments that are like, I did it first try. And it's like, well, you know, sometimes you get the RNG, your units dodge, or he only supers the units that can actually tank the super, and then you're all good. But other times you have situations like this where you get to attempt number 6, and it's like, wow, if I don't win this time, then that's it. It's game over for me. At least with the Formidable Foes thing, it's infinite attempts, so you could just keep jumping back in and trying it again. But yeah, not the case here, unfortunately. So Gogeta obviously very good defensively after supering anyway, so with the Whis in play, even if he was to take a super here, he would be fine. But this is where we can now start to pop off, as they say. So we'll go ahead and fuse into Vegito. Do you have... yeah, you have Kamehameha. Let's use this now. Because actually, yeah, because Goku gives... is it attack? Actually, you give attack support, don't you? So we'll do that. Get another hit in, lower his attack a little bit. Then switch. Fuse. So we've got the super there and the super there. So he's got 857k. That's not as much as I would have hoped. But I mean, obviously he's been debuffed quite a bit now. So we'll go ahead and active skill here. Which of course debuffs him even more until, I don't know if he's at his max. We'll know because the symbol will obviously stop coming up. So yeah, he is maximum debuff now. And Vegito has 3.4 million defense. And he has, remember, he has 60% damage reduction and guard. So basically he can't take damage on this turn. And he's the only one that's going to get hit. So we don't even need to use the other item, even though, as I've said before in videos where we do use items, at the end of the day, once you've used one item, you might as well use as many as you want, because you've either done it with no items or you haven't, right? So it doesn't really matter at that point. But yeah, this guy obviously getting his super off gives everybody a buff. So that's going to make Vegito, take Vegito hit even harder. Take Vegito building up obviously by getting hit as well. All these counters. But yeah, imagine if we were running double Vegito leads as well, so everyone on the team had slightly more stats. Like I say, this particular team build, I think with double Vegito leads, I'd probably just drop the AGL Vegito. Probably would have been able to get this done with no items in the first couple of attempts, as long as the RNG does go your way, as I say. But man, this stage really has made me feel the pain of not having the new units, because I also, it's not even just all the new units. I've seen some people having some good success with the Int Broly team, because the Int Broly team's really, really good. I don't have Int Broly either. So the Tech Broly version, obviously everyone has to be a movie boss. So there's certain characters you can't use, like Int Buhan, who would be quite good. Of course, Int Buhan, as good as he is, if he's the one that ends up eating a super on like the first turn, he'll take a lot of damage. But yeah, there's some options for the Broly team that only work if you're using Int Broly as both the leads. And yeah, he's another unit that I don't have, so very much looking forward to those part 2 banners. But I think this is going to be GG, just because this guy's attacking so many times. He can attack 12 times in one turn. Because he's attacking so many times, and obviously Vegito is countering all of these attacks except for the super, Vegito's done so much damage in this turn. Absolutely ridiculous. So because of course Goku gets all his extra attacks by being in slot 2 or 3. So yeah, Vegito should finish him off here with the counters. And then if he doesn't, if he somehow survives this turn, we just go into the next turn and use the family Kamehameha and kill him. So we have definitely won. In fact, you have to finish him with a super attack, so we actually can't finish him with the counters anyway, which is kind of funny. which I guess it's fair. But yeah, we'll eat another double-digit damage attack here. Bearing in mind he's greatly raised his attack twice. 10 million. Because remember, Vegito's just building up attack with each counter that he does. So that's crazy. And then, yeah, we just get the full-on overkill family Kamehameha here. Wouldn't even matter anyway, because he's not attacking in slot 1. So we would kill him regardless. But there we go. So, man, that was definitely very tough. I mean, for people struggling with the stage, that would be my advice, right? Like, the base Frieza at the beginning, well, he's final form Frieza, but the Frieza at the beginning is really not very difficult. So just get in there, get your units starting to get a little bit of build up, and then for that first turn against Golden Frieza, just throw out a Whis, and then hope for the best. Because I mean, even with some team builds, like I say, we had a good rotation with units that already had their own damage reduction, but realistically there's still scenarios where with a single Whis active he still kills you on that first turn, which is kind of insane to think about. But there you go. So that was the stage done. Finally had to use a Whis, but it is what it is. I wanted to get it beaten today. So, yeah, there you go. There's the revival of Frieza Saga stage. So, let me know how you guys got on down below in the comments. If you did do it with no items, let me know what team build you used. I'll probably go back and no item it at some point, like on stream or something, but obviously not going to end up being a video. But let me know how you guys got on down below in the comments. So, that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.